that was said by him when he was alive.
He's already giving his time and demonstrated by sending letters that this is what Islam is going to now come to the world as. Islam is going to come to the people. You have to accept it. If you don't accept it, then of course you become an opposition, right? And this is why Muslims, under the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ, they took that message from the Prophet to go and open up other lands. They went to Egypt, they went to various other countries to open up. And what happened is, when the countries were opened up, people willingly accepted Islam, right? And then willingly joined those Muslim armies to open up another land. This is first time you probably hear this in the history of humans, where the conquered joins the conquering party to open up another land. Think about Alexander the Great. What happened? When Alexander the Great went to a country and the people were now under his control, and they left and said, oh, thank God these people have left. But Islam is totally different.
So me personally, I can use an example. Yeah, Ali, yeah, not Ali, Umar, yeah, second caliph. Yeah, he, from my research so far, it may change, it may grow. He invaded. He's the one who created. Basically, said that anyone who was not Muslim was infidel, and basically, this is what I've researched.
This is a great accusation against this caliph.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm saying that a Muslim is going to say that it's not true. But this is from someone who's not against Islam. Check out Abu Bakr's history. This is a white man who likes, who respects Islam. We've also got the Caspian report on YouTube. The Caspian report on YouTube. Yeah, Caspian report on YouTube breaks down the story.
Just out of interest, have you read academic history works on the early history of Islam?
I've done a wide segregation, so people who are against Islam, people that are for Islam.
Any of that. I'm not asking you to Google like Gary Google does, right? Googling is not going to help you really decide the truth. It gives you some indication because it's a quick search engine, right? So when you want to research about ancient history, you have to go with credible, authentic sources.
I would say the Caspian report is extremely credible. Extremely.
Because I don't personally know about it.
Okay, so I'd say for you to go watch it, and then next week,
what I'm asking you is, you've read or you've seen this week's video. Have you read any of the academic works on the ancient history of Islam, early history of Islam?
I've read a lot of information. Yeah?
From which works?
I can't name them all off the top of my head right now.
There are works that are...
I've just about managed to learn all of the caliphs' names. Yeah? We're getting there.
What we're saying
but
is,
I'm saying that I will bring sources next time for everything that I'm saying.
If you were to study the early history of Islam, lives of Omar...
So where would you say the physical jihad? What part in Islam would you say the physical jihad?
The Quran already talks about this.
No, I'm talking about that was an internal one.
No. This comes from some defeatist mentality of certain Muslims, saying jihad is all about internal struggle. No, jihad is so many different types. It's from internal struggle to external struggle. It's from using your mouth to speak against the tyrant ruler, to writing against the oppression, to actually fighting in the way of God.
So does it allow? Because jihad to me does not allow me to express oppressive struggle. So to be an oppressor, so say if I'm in this land, I've invaded the Byzantine land, yeah. Jihad to me wouldn't allow me to invade Persia unless Persia done an act of war. To me personally,
you're conflating two issues. Islam considers itself the true bearer of truth. But it needs to go to the people.
Is it still the bearer of truth? Is it still the bearer of truth?
Still.
So
the means and the mechanisms of conveying Islam may change, right? Because the ultimate purpose is Islam to convey and transmit its message to the people and people decide. Now you can do it through satellite transmission. Now you can do it through so many different ways. You don't have to necessarily have an army and go there and invade another country. And I would take, I would be careful in using the word invasion, because what the Muslims did, there's a clear terminology. They say Jihad, they say open air Because what Muslims did is when they went to the land and opened up the land, they did not take up all the lands and became part of the Islamic treasury. That would call an invasion. You occupy the land and it belongs to you. Lands remain of the people. They were able to utilize their lands and so on.
I'm saying that I know, I understand clearly what the actual stances of the invasion were. Yeah, so I understand that, for example, when Umar invaded Jerusalem and the Christians said pray in the church, and he said no, because if I pray in that church, a next Muslim ruler will turn it into a mosque. Yeah, and they
Invaded Jerusalem?
when they took over the land from the Byzantines. The Byzantines
He
had-
was
had-
invited to get the keys of Jerusalem. And you know how he went?
But
He
they-
went with one of his companions who was a servant.
Yeah, but was it not the Byzantines that
One animal to ride in turn, and I don't understand because I think there's some kind of misunderstanding of Umar. This is Umar we're talking about, right? When he was asked to take the keys of Jerusalem, he went to this guy, the animal. They went in turns because that's the fair thing to do. Sometimes he would walk with the rope, and while his servant is on the mount of the animal, right? They came to a point where, when they came to Jerusalem, it was the turn of the servant. Now, what did he do? He said, "You get off. You know, I will be on the animal. No, you carry on." And then when they came to Jerusalem, right? You've got all this. When people are walking and traveling around the desert, it's not like you've got properly iron clothes now. You have all the signs of trouble. So you've got someone on the animal. They thought he was him, and they were speaking to him like, "Oh, you're the Khalif," and so on. The one who's standing, holding up, that is the Khalif. No, try to understand the character of this individual. Somehow, I think somewhere along the line, someone is maiming the character of this great individual.
I'm not saying he wasn't great. Was he Muhammad? Was he perfect? Was he perfect?
No one's perfect.
Okay, so
except
I'm not
God.
saying he was. I'm not making him out to be an evil character. I'm saying he made decisions historically where I can say from my own conscience, yeah, that I don't believe were righteous, and I don't believe they were the examples set by the Prophet Muhammad that came before him.
Do you think he was a believer, the Khalif Umar?
100%.
Right. If he was a believer,
there's a-
then he would follow the Prophet in all his beliefs, right? He would not go against anything against the teaching of the Prophet. So he would not go and invade, as you say, put it in your words, if the Prophet didn't teach him to do something like that.
No, but I say from the beginning of from the onset of the caliphate, yeah, there was internal dispute, and there was questions of whether the sincerity of the actual caliphate. For example, we
Did
know.
anyone question his justice as a Khalif?
Huh?
Did anyone question his justice?
No, this is what I know. This is what I know for. This is the biggest fact I'm going to say today. Yeah? I know for a fact that when the Prophet Muhammad died, peace be upon him, Ali was with him. Yeah, I know for a fact that while Ali was with him, Abu Bakr and the Muslims wanted to choose a leader. Abu Bakr came, interrupted, and I think he pointed to Umar or pointed to. No, listen. Let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Carry on, but I know
then
when
you can correct me. Yeah. He wanted, so he pointed to Umar, but because
They have a meaning. I don't think they can have a problem.
they chose Abu Bakr. Now, when Ali came out from the Prophet, because he was with the Prophet when the Prophet died, right up until the Prophet's death, he was the one that was with the Prophet. Ali has said that the Prophet Muhammad said for him to be the next leader of Islam.
Where did you hear this? Or
Let me just finish what I'm saying. Yeah? When Ali said this now, yeah, there's a dispute. Yeah, they say the story that I've heard, yeah, is that some stories say the dispute was for 3 days, some people say the dispute was for 6 months. Regardless, yeah, Ali's wife Fatima had a miscarriage during this time. Yeah, and after that, we can Christmas to Abu Bakr. Before that, he didn't agree whether it was 3 days or 3 months. We can consider that he had some issues. Yeah, this is where the Shia and Sunni Muslim contention comes from. So anyway, the goal of the story, yeah. So Ali, yeah, said that he was meant to be the rightful king. There's reasons. There's good reasons why Ali was meant to be the next rightful leader. I'm not on either side, but I'm just, from what I'm seeing so far, and hopefully you're going to give me more knowledge so I can put on top of it to be more balanced. Yeah? But I know that Ali was definitely the best friend of Muhammad. Yeah? Ali's father was the one who actually adopted Muhammad, so Ali was raised in the same household as Muhammad, but not only that, because Muhammad was so much older and had reverence for age, Muhammad was considered Ali's father. Yeah? We know that Ali risked his life, could have got stabbed for the Prophet Muhammad could be upon him. We know that Ali,
if you're sick, then you're allowed.
And there's other elements as to why Ali, you get me, was meant to be the next caliphate. Before the Prophet died, just before he died, he said one thing. He said, if you consider me to be your patron, you consider Ali to be your patron. So
interesting what you said, right?
Yeah.
Let me now, because you're making so many different points.
Let me just conclude and then you
conclude. Because you made
so this is where Shia believe that Ali.
No, what? Continue. No, that's not for that. No.
So that's a contention from the early stages of the caliphate. I'm sure you're gonna.
If people were listening to you, they might think you're actually a Shia. The information comes from Shia, right? They would have no clue that you are Rastafarian.
Okay. No, sorry. Let me say one more thing. We know what raised the fuss. And this speaks to Ali's character. After Ali agreed with Abu Bakr being the he pledged allegiance. Yeah. When Abu Bakr chose Umar as the second caliphate, yeah, it was, they didn't want to choose Umar because Umar looked big and he looked very dangerous, and Ali spoke for Umar, and he was the deciding word why they picked Umar for the second caliphate. So that's a suit that goes in the Sunni side, yeah. The third caliphate, they asked them both.
Let's
let me just say one last thing.
Don't give a whole history of convoluted history, right? We don't want a convoluted history. So as I said, if someone were to listen to you, they might think you're a Shia, right? Coming from Shia sources here and there, disputed, inauthentic, forged, fabricated.
That's a Sunni.
Not accusation. Yeah. This is what people will think, right? Why? Because some of the things that you said has no basis whatsoever in history. People would have no clue. People would have no clue that you are actually a Rastafarian, believing in Haile Selassie. Are you coming up with this history? So maybe you have got some contacts with the Shia individual.
Right, what he was saying.
So when we're talking about this,
let me say one more thing. My source is the Caspian report. That's one source.
When you say about this, when the Prophet ﷺ was unwell, this is bad for you. Come on, be strong. Resist. You can resist it. Right. When the Prophet ﷺ, because the prayer is conducted by the head of the state, like the Prophet ﷺ, or the leader of the Muslims. The Prophet would always lead the Muslims in prayer. So when he was unwell, you would expect the next candidate who's going to be the leader of the Muslims to lead the prayer, right? So if the Prophet indicated in any way, shape or form, Ali radiallahu anh, may Allah be pleased with him, that he was going to be the leader, then you would see Ali radiallahu anh all the time leading the prayers. But what do we see? We don't see Ali radiallahu anh ever leading the prayer. In fact, it was Abu Bakr radiallahu anh who was leading the prayers. This is a clear indication of that, okay? Because he was the Prophet himself in his lifetime. That yes, this man is going to be the next leader. This is just one example out of many. You talked about how Ali radiallahu anh, he sacrificed his own self to save the Prophet, like he was, during the migration, he stayed in the bed. This is what you are leading to. So did Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, when he went in the car between the companions. A snake, he would put his whole heel on the snake hole and got bitten to save the Prophet. And he was there protecting the Prophet from all the enemies. So yes, there was self-sacrifice from Abu Bakr as well. So which, for some reason, maybe you didn't know this, because there seems to be one-sided story coming from the Shia friends telling you about who it is. Look,
It's not sheer source, but yeah.
yeah, what we're saying is this. The caliphate is just being a leader of the Muslims. When Ali radiallahu anh became the Khalif, right? He's now leader of the Muslims. Issue should have been all cleared now among the Muslims. There will be no Shia, there should be no Shia and no Sunni, because now Ali is radiallahu anh is the Khalif. But what happened? Why did the differences still persist? It wasn't because of Ali at all. It was something else totally. Something else. There were grievances and so on and so forth. There were differences of the belief in certain individuals. So where the factions or Shia or isolated come from, various things. So it's no point talking about the Khalif Umar and Khalif Ali in terms of this, because you need to really know what really happened. They are the rightly guided Khalifs.
That's by your belief.
Yeah, according to our belief, because the Prophet ﷺ said so. He said so. Follow my sunnah, my ways, and the ways of my rightly guided Khalifs. Yeah, Khulafa Rashidin al-Mahdiyin. So we have no problem even if Ali became the first one or the second one, then we would have no problem if the Prophet said so. We have no dispute. People who have something in their heart, they make this into an issue and they say no, it was this, and they don't stop there. They say look, Abu Bakr or Umar or Uthman, they apostatized. They became non-believers. They're non-Muslims. They became kafir. This is the extent some people go. When Allah in the Quran says He is pleased with them and they are pleased with Allah. Allah has already certified that Allah is pleased with them. And then you're saying they became kafir. So that's why if you are studying early history and only learning from a certain factions, you have to be very, very careful. It goes against what the Quran is already saying. But I want to bring your attention to again the Quran, right, and the Jihad. The Quran talks about political jihad, to fight in the way of Allah and remove oppression, because oppression, oppression. If you are not shown Islam and people are saying, okay, believe in whatever you want to believe, idol worship, it's an oppression. Idol worship, associating partners with Allah, is one of the greatest injustice that you can do. Shirkun azim, la dhulmun azim, this is greatest injustice. So this oppression needs to be what?
Yeah, but in England they idolize.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, Muslims, in Syria or wherever they are, who believe this, are right, in coming here and taking over, because these don't worship. No, I'm telling you.
It's just meaning what I said. I'm saying earlier on, my friend. Earlier on, the mechanism of conveying the message was different than today. Today,
like that's your own. That's you being born in this system and coming to that agreement. There's Muslims that will not agree with you. There are Muslims that will not agree with you, and they will say, in order to follow the caliphate, this is why they do what they do. So this is what I'm saying. This is where I personally, if I followed Islam, I could only follow the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran, but I could not follow the ways of the caliphate.
But do you follow the Quran though? Okay, let's cut the chain. Do you really follow the Quran?
Yeah, I follow what came before the Quran.
Wait. Do you follow the Quran? This question.
I follow that what came before the Quran.
So you don't follow the Quran? So you don't follow the Quran?
I follow the Quran and more.
Wait. If you follow the Quran and the Quran says the earlier scripture is corrupted, would you follow the earlier scriptures?
But Uthman, okay.
No. Don't bring excuses. One moment. One moment.
Yeah.
Don't bring the people in.
Yeah.
Let the Quran speak for itself.
Okay.
Right. When the Quran says that people have went into extreme by deifying Christ, saying Christ is God, Quran is saying they have certainly disbelieved and hellfire will be their only abode.
Is that the Roman Catholic Church or that Ethiopian Orthodox? How you doing?
Wait.
What are you dealing with here?
Listen.
What are you dealing with?
Listen. Anyone who says, I can say you're upright, you're just, you're patient, you're merciful, but it doesn't mean you are the upholder of truth. Because he does no wrong though. Yeah.
He does no wrong.
Wrong in what?
Does no wrong.
Wrong in what?
Does no wrong at all.
We are talking about, look, in the context, if the Prophet said so, because I am going by what you're saying, because I don't know this.
I don't know they said that.
Look, I don't know. But even if he said that, the context tells us when the people went there, they asked for asylum, and he was not unjust. He gave them asylum, so he did not do any wrong.
Place that Muslims.
Wait.
No, continue. No, I feel.
Sorry. They said he was a just king.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Just.
That's what they said. Where if you have a different source that he said anything else, we'd have to see that. But as far as I'm aware, they said he's a just king.
research.
Just
Just
king.
type
I
in
know.
the kingdom
I've
of
done
Muhammad.
No. I've never heard of that.
So
other
you are somehow
just
thinking
king. That's
you
what
are
I'm
somehow
saying.
thinking that because this word means no wrong, he's infallible. That's why you're automatically associating. This is totally wrong. The Prophet said very clearly, whoever has heard me and heard of Islam and has not accepted Islam, that's it. You will have no salvation in hereafter. If you've heard the name of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a prophet, you've heard Islam as a religion from God. Listen, and you do not believe in it, Prophet has given the verdict already.
So what are you telling me? If you didn't tell me, if you Muslims didn't come and tell me about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad, would I go to hell? Would I go to hell? No, if you didn't tell me, I'm saying if they didn't tell me about the Prophet, would I go to hell?
If you've heard,
If I haven't heard, would I go to hell? That's what I'm asking.
let's talk about if you've heard, if you have heard. If you have heard,
I'm gonna go hell forever and ever.
and you reject it,
Yeah.
then the only abode for the people who reject knowingly
is
is
hell
hellfire.
forever, ever. Alright.
If you haven't heard, the Quran tells us very clearly, the message of the Quran is this: those people who haven't heard, then they will be asked about what they used of their intellect. When they will be asked, why did you worship other than Allah, other than God, they have to justify their belief. And obviously, those people who worship a man as a son of God, or a woman as a daughter of God, or an elephant as a god of some kind, right? Or a fish or a turtle, or worship stone idols. These people will have no way they can justify in front of God their belief
But what about
when they're asked.
What about other people? What about if I would never heard
Amazon
about
jungle.
Islam and I never heard about the Quran, would I go to hell? That's the question.
No, I'm saying.
So why are you telling me?
Listen. If you listen.
So why are you telling me?
What?
Lucky, bro. You're in speakers.
Why are you telling me?
You've already heard.
I know, but why are you?
No excuse anymore. I'm sorry.
You get what I'm saying, bro?
Look.
Our job is to convey the message.
But one thing though, which you don't realize, to Allah, it's not a joke. That people will say, oh look, I'm going to close my ears, I'm not going to listen to anything. In the Quran, there are people Allah describes are the occupants going to be of hellfire, right? So as they're dragged by the angels in the hellfire, and when they come to the gates of hellfire, the angels ask them, have they not come to you any messengers telling you about this, about God, about Allah and so on, right? About the truth. You know what they will do? They will confess. They say, yes, of course they did, but we belied them, we rejected them, we denied them. And then they will make this confession. This is what God tells us to think. They will confess, saying, had we but listened to those messengers or message bearers, or used our intellect, aql, we would not have ended up in this, this place that is hellfire.
My belief now, yeah, and you can correct where it's wrong, but if I'm correct, it was during the third caliphate Uthman where the Quran was actually compiled as a literature, and it was compiled based upon the
Quran was already there during the time of the Prophet.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
So why do you go to the third caliph?
no,
or second
no,
caliph?
okay, no, but
Why do you have these obstacles?
let me just finish saying what I'm saying, then you can correct me. Everyone can do your own research on this as well, but from my research so far, if I can remember properly, Uthman, yeah, he was the first one to make the official Quran that we read today, yeah, and he done it based upon the length of verses and destroyed all literature, all other versions. And this is
Tell
why
me how he did it.
And listen, and this is why
Tell me how he did it.
This is why some scholars believe that he may have interpreted or misconstrued certain things in that Quran. And the reason why I would actually believe that to some degree, I'm not saying that I do believe it, but I'm saying the reason why I could believe it, because we knew by the time of Abu Bakr, Islam went from just a religion to a social political system. And we know that in the time of Umar, it went from a social political to also a military and a legal system. So because these people were leaders and they needed to control the people, it would make sense if I say to you now, if you don't believe as this, it's the same thing the Christians do, then you're going to burn in hellfire forever. What can you think of worse than hellfire? You know what I'm saying? And if you do believe, then you're going to get paradise. But I don't believe that the people who believe, and then we're going to finish now, yeah, these are the ones who are going to go to paradise. Because people who believe in Islam, Rastafari, Christianity, Kemet, yeah, because of an afterlife, are people who have ulterior motives. Yeah? And better, yeah, is the righteous atheist, yeah, than the person who is a believer but has no, it doesn't make their character. So what I'm saying is an atheist can be righteous in all of their actions. Yeah? And my personal belief is someone who is religious can have no righteousness in their actions. You understand? So I believe that in order to spread Islam and politicize Islam, there were things added. One of them was that is that you're going to burn in hell if you're not a Muslim, and so on, so on. And this is why I more tend to stray towards the Sufi side of Islam, because this side of Islam is about getting to know.
Let us now examine what you said so far.
No, let me just finish what I'm saying. The Sufi side of Islam is about being a better person. It's about actually taking the principles of Allah, the 99 names for Allah, and actually applying them in your life. And that's actually going to create better people in the world. You know what I'm saying? But just believing in the Quran, believing in the Prophet Muhammad, that's not going to change shit. I know bare man in jail right now calling themselves Muslims and they're not true Muslims. I see man out here trying to start beef and fights, calling themselves Muslims, and they've got the defense and the backing of other Muslims. I asked a Muslim, even if your Muslim brother is the oppressor and gives the first punch, will you back him? And he said yes. He said yes, even if his brother is the oppressor. And this is a black Muslim talking about an Arab man that's oppressing. So this is why certain people will feel like we become enslaved to Arab culture.
You know what you've done so far?
Let me say one last thing. Okay, let me say one last thing.
I will forget
let me say one.
many things you said.
Let me just say one tiny last thing.
One tiny last thing.
So I don't want to feel like I'm biased, yeah? I bought a school in a place called Gambia, yeah? It's a Muslim country, yeah? And some of the most blessed and some of the most best brothers are in Gambia, and I will be going to Gambia to live a Muslim country. But I believe that due to the Sufi and the spiritual African ways, that there's an embodiment of Islam that they have there, which is very spiritual, which I don't see as much in the West.
You've made several points in what you said, and many of them you've made based on hearsay without any evidence from history. So this is an emotional thing that you've done. What you've done, saying, okay, some Muslims I've seen, oh, they will side me up with this and they will side with the oppressor. Totally against the teaching of Islam.
100%, that's what I told them.
So don't bring them in and say, okay, the ones who are saying these are good people, the Sufis. No. Sufism is not another religion. Islam says you purify your soul as well. That is what Sufism should be about.
100%.
Right. But the Sufism also takes an extreme and they start saying everything is God. I'm God, part of God. Of course.
It makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
If God's everything.
Are you going to let me speak, right? It doesn't make sense. Why? Because you are a creation of God, totally distinct from God. You can never be part of God in any way, shape or form. The moment God created you, you are separate from God. Okay? So don't bring Sufism in. Don't bring any ism in. Muslims can have different kind of understanding of this, but just bringing saying, I'm more siding to the Sufi, it's the wrong approach, right? You should be siding with the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, because that is where the solution is.
And I'm saying that the Sufis are the ones who have brought me.
No, the Sufis are.
What I'm saying is,
you're interrupting. You're interrupting. Okay. You see, when you said, I let you.
Yeah.
So one point. I said fine. Right. You need to understand that the solution, correct understanding, correct interpretation of Islam, the teaching of Allah and teaching the Prophet is the Quran and the authentic, pure Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, even if he was a Sufi saying, go to that, you accept it because he is referring to the main source. Even if it was a Salafi, you accept it. Even if it was a Ikhwani, you accept it. Why? They're all referring to the source of the divine teaching from God and from the Prophet. Right. You made again an assertion and an accusation about the compilation of the Quran that the third Caliph Uthman somehow may have possibly twisted, misconstrued, distorted, introduce something new about jihad and so on in the Quran. This really tells me that your reading needs to be extended. You need to have an extended list of readings, right? Extended reading. You may have read what Gary Google does. That is not the right approach, right? So to bring Gary Google in, right? This is what he does. It's a totally wrong approach of learning. Learning must be done. If you want to learn about mathematics, don't go to a what? Would you go to learn mathematics from a farmer who doesn't know anything about it? You go to a mathematician to learn about mathematics, right? If you want to learn about Islam, about the Quran, go to the sources. Don't go to the secular, liberal, humanist, agnostic, or Christian propagandists and extremists. You should go to the source because they will always give you a biased, distorted picture. So the picture about compilation of the Quran, let me clarify to you how and see whether you agree with it. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, was the Quran memorized all of it by some people? And was the Quran written down all of it by some people? The answer is categorically yes. There are people who memorize all of it, and there are people who have written the Quran in written form. Right. As the Prophet passed away, there wasn't one particular individual book that people say we should just follow like that, because everyone had their own copies as much as they have written. Everyone had the Quran as much as they have memorized. Some all of it, some parts of it. What Abu Bakr, the first Caliph, did, radiallahu anhu, he compiled the Quran. Okay? He compiled the Quran. That Quran copy, how did he compile? Did he say, okay, I am going to write from my memory what I heard the Prophet say? No. He got all the Muslims to come and say, this is what I heard directly from the Prophet, and this is a witness. This is a witness to it. So every verse of the Quran, every ayah of the Quran was testified by the very people who heard and learned and wrote down in the direct presence of the Prophet. That was all compiled together, and it was left because there was no need then to disseminate this book in the Muslim empire or the Muslim state. When he passed away, it was left eventually with Hafsa radiallahu anha. Another time, later, during the time of the third Caliph, there was a dispute happening somewhere far around the Muslim center of Islam in Azerbaijan, when non-Muslims or people becoming a Muslim, not even Arabs themselves, they were saying my recitation is better than yours. That point, Caliph Uthman radiallahu anhu, he did what we call standardization. Now what did he do? There are two reports. One is he did the same thing that first compilation did, from the scratch, that you had everyone coming up with the verses of the Quran and testifying for every single verse that I heard the Prophet said so. So the people who were the disciples, the companions of the Prophet, they said this is the Quran that the Prophet left behind. And they collected this Quran and said this is what we're going to make a copy of. Or just copy what was already copied from Hafsa, and they found it's the same thing, right? Made it in the dialect of the Quraysh, and that was it. So it is impossible for Uthman or Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with them, to introduce even a single word in the Quran. Why? Because it's a community enterprise where all the companions, as many as they could come in this project, with every single verse of the Quran and with a witness. So you have now a whole community saying, this is the Quran. Who are we to doubt and say it's not the Quran? Because this is what they said is the Quran. So when they left and standardized the Quran, you can have no dispute, you can have no doubt or question about what's been collected by them and what's been transmitted afterwards. It's not like a one-man enterprise. If it was a one-man enterprise, one-man job, a project where he writes from it, you can then question it, oh, maybe he introduced something new. This is the mercy of Islam, where even in earlier times, the Caliphs were so wise in their thinking. They collected the Quran from the people as a community who said, yes, we all testify, this is the Quran that the Prophet taught us. And they transmitted this generation after generation, after generation after generation, till today. We have memorized this Quran, word for word, letter for letter, sound for sound. Today, and my friend, this is the blessed month of Ramadan, the month of Quran, where this Quran is being recited in our masajid, in our mosques. most of them, from the beginning of the Quran and hopefully to the end of the Quran, every single chapter, every single surah, every single verse or ayah, every single word, every single letter, every single sound to the accuracy will be pronounced and recited by and from memory. You need to witness this in this month. So if you go to Regent's Park Mosque in Baker Street, if you go to Baker Street, Regent's Park Mosque, go to Whitechapel, East London Mosque, and you will see with your own eyes how the Quran is a living transmission from memory to the letter, You cannot change this today. If you were to make a mistake, hundreds of people may be correcting you at the same time. They are told not to. Don't correct. Let few people in the front row correct it. Otherwise it's going to be chaotic. Even if you make one mistake. That's happening today. It happened the day before. It happened the year before. The decades before. This is a living testimony and transmission of the Quran. So Muslims can have no doubt what we have today is what the Prophet left behind.
So there's no documentation of Uthman destroying, legislating one Quran and destroying all the rest.
No.
There's no.
He standardized it, and everything else he says they should be all destroyed. They should be all burnt. This is a fact of history.
Yeah.
Why? Because people were writing. Remember, some of them were not even not Arabs. They were writing Arabic language, which is a.
So I've got to base my belief in the Quran based upon what Uthman thought was right and right.
No, not all Uthman thought, my friend. Again, what I said so far now, you didn't even pay any attention.
I'm cool with the Quran. I think the
No.
Quran is a
You did not pay any attention. I think.
But I believe it's
I am
still a
saying.
man.
I am saying. Uthman, what he did, only as a head of a state, he was leading the project. That project is Muslims, the companions of the Prophet, who heard and learned the Quran directly from the Prophet, wrote down directly in the presence of the Prophet. They brought down and came together, said, this is the Quran. Uthman has nothing to do with it. He's just supervising the project. He's the head of the state, a leader, of the project leader.
The head of the state.
Right. So what he ensured that this is happening smoothly with all the resources. So when this was all completed and compiled, are you going to have any doubt that the Quran that we have today is any different than what they consider to be the Quran? Can you? It's impossible.
I personally believe that's because you're a Muslim and you believe in it. No, I'm saying that's my personal belief, because from my research, and just knowing mankind.
What have you read?
Just knowing mankind.
What have you read? You seem to be watching just YouTube videos, aren't you?
No, it's not even.
What book have you read? Give me an example of a book of my academic that you've read on the compilation of the Quran. Because when you say research, look, and research is a very loaded term. Research means reading, studying, analyzing, critiquing,
I'm just saying that no man's perfect.
No. In your research, give me a name of one academic work on the compilation of the Quran.
You already asked me that and I already gave you an answer.
Academic work.
I said I just managed to remember Abu Bakr, Uthman,
so you haven't
Ali. I can't remember the
beginning.
I can't remember the scholarly.
Fair enough. So you're beginning to research.
You can undermine the information.
You haven't researched. You have begun the research.
The fact of the matter is, you've said that in order for someone to be, understand Islam, they have to go to a Muslim and take it from a Muslim scholar and then report what a Muslim scholar says. So most times I'm in line with that anyway, because I deal with the example of the Prophet Muhammad, I deal with the Quran, and I deal with the Most High, my own relationship with the Most High, which you will say. No, it's not that I disbelieve.
Do you believe in the whole of the Quran?
I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in beating
my
wife. I don't believe in beating my wife. Put it like that.
No. Do you believe in the whole of the Quran?
No, I don't believe that I will be able to beat my wife. So that I think.
Neither do I. What's the point? Neither do I.
So
one second. Neither do I.
Okay, and I don't believe that if someone drinks alcohol, they should be whipped.
So you think, okay, so
I don't
basically,
believe that.
That's an opinion.
Okay, opinion.
I don't believe if someone
what does the Quran
adultery, they should be stoned, because some of the main people that get involved in the prostitution rings, are from certain religions.
What does God say about the Quran as a final guidance from God? You are obviously not happy with God and His final guidance.
No. I'm not happy with. That's what I'm saying. You're saying I'm not happy with God, but I am saying that I'm not happy with what Uthman put together. I'm not happy with what I feel like the.
Before Uthman put it together, the Quran was already around. And already the Quran said about do not gamble, do not drink alcohol. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I'm cool. I'm cool with it being a.
So you are having a problem with Uthman?
No,
And Umar?
I'm okay with someone
You know what?
saying don't drink alcohol.
Are you a
but
Shia
if
in
not-
disguise by any chance?
No. I'm okay with someone saying don't drink alcohol. But after I tell you don't drink alcohol, I'm saying that because I care about your health. So if you carry on drinking alcohol and you kill yourself with lung cancer, that's up to you. I don't feel like if I then see you drinking alcohol, I have any religious right to whip you. And anyone has a right to whip you. I don't believe that.
That's fair. That's
Do you believe in...
So from there, I've got to. Because I don't believe that, I've got to go with my own.
One question I have to ask you.
Now,
do you believe in crime and punishment system? Do you believe in crime and punishment system?
Depends what you're talking about.
Do you believe that God can legislate a system of punishment for certain crimes?
I don't believe God would have legislated it the way that it's been legislated
No.
through Islam. No.
In principle, do you entertain the possibility that the divine being God, creator of the heavens and the earth, can legislate punishment for certain crimes which he says is a criminal act?
Okay. Let me answer that. Yeah.
Answer.
This is why I separate Islam with the Muslim world. Yeah. Because, for example, in Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to drive. No, listen. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. Or recently, women were not allowed to drive. Yeah. We also know that in Saudi Arabia, women can't do certain sports. Now, do I believe, that is correct? No, I
That's not
don't.
my question.
But do I believe that's Islam? No, but do I believe that?
Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? Instead of answering my question, you went into the specifics of culture of a particular country.
No, I'm talking about
Wait.
the holy land of.
In my country,
Mecca.
women are allowed to drive.
I'm talking about the first holy place.
Wait.
Where's your first holy place?
Excuse me. Wait. In my country, women are allowed to drive. Now, why did you bring it in? This has nothing to do with Islam. So what I'm asking you is this. In principle, do you entertain the possibility or the idea that the creator of the heaven and the earth can give us laws of punishment to deal with certain criminal activities?
And do I believe that that's Sharia law? No, I hear what you're saying.
Do you really want me to end the conversation here?
You could, if you're,
Because no.
If you're ignorant, you're
no,
I'll come with love and sincerity.
You are now demonstrating.
I feel Allah alone.
You are demonstrating that you are really not really sincerely.
You can say I'm not sincere.
Look. I asked you a question, which is this. Before Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born, there was no Sharia of Islam through the Quran, right? And the Sunnah. Before that time, do you entertain the possibility that the creator of the heavens and the earth can give laws of punishment for certain criminal activities which the creator deems to be crime?
It's such an ambiguous question.
Now it's ambiguous.
No, it's ambiguous.
Look, you are an obstacle of Prophet Muhammad.
Listen.
No, let me. You have, I know, an obstacle of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his Sharia and his laws. I remove that from the equation and say, look, go back 5,000 years ago. If you were at the time of Moses, say, or even the prophets before, do you accept the possibility that God can give you laws to deal with punishing criminals? A system of punishment where God says, for this crime, this is the punishment. Do you accept that God can give those laws and guidance?
Well, I believe if those laws were made, they would have to transcend time and transcend places. So they have to be able to apply to every time and every place.
Now, who's convoluting the water? Instead of answering straight yes.
I can't say.
Listen.
If I say yes, then I'm making
let me help you.
Okay. Let me say something.
Help you.
When you say God, you're saying God as if Muslims and Allah, Muslims via Allah have the only right to God, but a next man's going to say next God, and next man's going to say next God. So if I say yes, really God can say His law.
Do you know why it's very sad?
If I say yes, God can say His law, it means that I'm having to which God?
Listen.
Which
God? Do you know why this is very sad? I removed Islam and Prophet Muhammad from this equation to help you. Answer the question.
I think we're given free will, and I think that man sets laws.
So you believe God does not guide people as to what is best for them.
Yeah, he guides us in our heart.
Wait.
In our hearts.
Wait. You believe
100%.
God does not give any legislation about what is right and wrong, what you should do with the criminals, but you, with your weak and deficient mind, not you only, me, you and me, human beings.
No, you're not deficient because you're a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim, so I'll be a kafir. So I would be deficient in my beliefs.
Excuse me, look.
No, I'm just saying. So
Look. I can clearly see you have a screen in front of you.
No, I got no screen. You've got.
I am saying I am
You've got a
deficient.
screen. I ain't got no screen.
Listen. I'm just demonstrating that you have.
Yeah,
Look. I just said, I am weak and deficient, ignorant, like all human beings are weak, ignorant, and deficient. Only Allah, God is perfect.
Yes.
So with our deficient and ignorance, you are saying that we can then work for our own self, which is better for us. For example, having a hashish, smoking, you would say it's okay because you practice it. But someone says no, it befogs people's mind. It really changes people's behavior. It should be banned. That's why majority of the country, for illicit drugs, the government is imposing a ban and saying it is not allowed. You, for example, may be a ganja artist. You like ganja, you like heroin, you like crack, and you say it's okay. Look. You might say it's okay because I decide for my own self. I am saying human beings try to decipher and decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. And throughout human history, they demonstrated the suffering and oppression by doing that. Mussolini and the communist countries in Russia, Soviet Union, they believed in this communism, and they killed by this process millions of people, which they considered that's the way we should live. This is how we should behave. This is how we should interact in terms of property laws and so on. This trial and error killed millions of people, my friend, millions. Human beings, I'm afraid, have demonstrated throughout history we are not capable of determining what is good and what is bad. Right? For this reason, God has spared us of this trial and error and given us guidance through prophets and messengers, telling us clearly murder is wrong, rape is wrong, this is wrong and wrong, and we should accept it. You are saying no, we don't need guidance for that. Let me ask you one thing. Smoking, is it right or wrong?
Answer?
Yeah.
Rastafari. I said the first.
Yeah. What did he say?
Rastafari, in its inception, said herbs is the healing. They said Rasta was crazy. They made all sorts of documentaries saying herbs kills you. Herbs is bad for you. Now look at California, look at even England. What are they introducing? Medical marijuana. But Rasta said it from time. That's a prophecy. Rasta's also said Ital is vital. Years ago, people said no, you can't just eat liver fruits and vegetables. Now Dr. Sebi has proved that they have cured AIDS. Like my brother, they have cured AIDS, they have cured cancer. What are they using?
Who's cured
Dr. Sebi, do the research.
Slow down.
Yeah, let me just finish saying what I'm saying first.
I deal with cancer patients.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say cancer has been cured,
Yes.
right? Look. Which person are you talking about?
Dr. Sebi.
Wait.
And
Doctor of who? Doctor of who?
Sebi.
Doctor of what?
He's a naturopath.
Wait, doctor of natural
He's
medicine.
a natural man,
Wait. You know what? I work in a hospital with children.
100%.
Children with cancer, of leukemia, of different kind of solid cancers, okay? Brain tumors, liver tumors, and so on and so forth. Your doctor and the medicine that he's provided, if you offer to those children, you think they'll be cured?
100%. If they went to Dr. Sebi.
Wait, no.
No, because I didn't get to talk for a long time.
Wait.
Let me finish saying what I'm saying. You're
Wait a second.
I've been interrupted.
Wait a second.
Alright, cool. I'm be humble.
I've
I'll show you humbleness.
heard people's claims. You know what? Like the Christians comes along. you know what? I've driven out deep studies that what. Let me finish my point, because you are only. Sorry?
She knows.
Sorry?
She knows. I was just saying.
I'm not talking about pharmaceuticals. What I'm saying, listen.
They're trying to kill us, bro.
Listen.
They're trying to kill us.
Excuse me. No. People go. Let me finish. I am saying, if you have a patient diagnosed with cancer, not having any medical treatment in any hospitals, but any conventional medicines that treat cancer,
Just let me know when
you can bring your herbal medicine, do the works that you would expect the academics will accept, right? A scientific study, and say, look, this is the medicine that I'm going to give, whether it's herbal or ganja or whatever, and there you go, this person is cured. Have you done that?
Okay, can I speak?
You're talking about pharmaceuticals.
Okay, can I?
Send him back to Stadium.
I don't think you understood what I said.
Let me show you something.
Wait.
Sebi. Okay.
Did you?
Dr. Sebi.
Wait.
Dr. Sebi went to court in America. You can just type his name and listen to his story. And if you want a Western source, go to the rave diet. These are white European doctors, hospitals, the rave diet, RAVE diet. And they reversed cancer, heart disease. These are white people, these are white doctors, but Dr. Sebi is a naturopath. Do the research and find out for yourself. But as I was saying, Rasta said herb is the healing from time. Rasta also said ital is vital. What have got? Like, this was before there was veganism. This is before veganism was created. But now in Europe they're saying veganism is the healthiest way of life. So that's another prophecy.
My question
Rasta also said,
stop. No, I'll tell you what. Wait. What is doing this? This is clear.
I'm gonna teach you.
Wait.
I'm gonna teach you.
Look, what was my question I asked you? You went into a rant of teaching
herbs.
No. But my question.
Allah made the herbs.
Wait, what was my question you're answering? What was my question you're
God,
answering?
Allah,
Hang on.
Xibia,
Excuse me.
Allah.
Hey, listen. What was my question that you're answering?
You was asking me if I believe marijuana.
No, wrong.
Okay.
Let me tell you again. This is why you can't go into this ganja mode, right? You have to listen to the question that is asked. When I say smoking cigarettes, is smoking cigarette good or bad? Bad. Right, bad. Why is it bad? According to Rasta?
Because it detriments your health. Along why they say meat is bad. Along why they say alcohol is bad. Along why this juice Vimto in my bag is bad. You see the real Rastas? Let me tell you about the real.
Wait.
Let me tell you about the real Rastas.
Excuse me, hello. Listen. If you want to talk about Rasta, you can talk about.
I'm in Babylon.
I'm only asking about this question. Why? Because we know for sure smoking causes lung cancer. The association is established.
Not ganja, not marijuana, tobacco.
Listen.
We've got to make the No. We have to make the differentiation.
Hang on.
We have to make. No. I've got to say one thing. We have to make the differentiation.
Excuse me. Listen.
We have to make the differentiation because earlier you tried
Now
to
you're
slightly
really going into
disrespect
ganja
me.
mode, really.
You have to slightly disrespect
your
me
ganja
by
mode.
saying
I'm trying to have a
ganja,
discussion.
crack and heroin. You put crack and heroin in the same category that you put ganja. So now I have to make differentiations when you're speaking.
Let me tell you.
To me was a disrespect. But I'm still going to show you as a Muslim how to be humble, how to be loving, and how to show you, even though you've disrespected me.
Stop there.
So that's the disrespect.
You know what? Suddenly,
You can talk now.
hang
You
on.
can talk. It's
Look,
alright.
suddenly you become so aggressive.
No, I'm not aggressive. I'm passionate.
Listen.
Anytime a black man gets passionate, he says,
Do you know what he was doing?
no, bro.
Listen, brother. This is what he was doing. That's aggression.
Ask the Muslims if I'm humble. Ask the Muslims. Ask the Muslims to speak as
Hey, Rasta,
about
listen.
me. Ask the Buddhism. Ask everyone.
Excuse me. Now listen. Right. What I'm saying is this. Instead of giving me what I asked you, you went into this passion as you described. Listen.
Because you disrespected me.
Listen.
Because you disrespected me. This is why I went into the passion.
Listen.
Because you put ganja and crack and heroin in the same thing as if I'm a crackhead.
Listen.
As if to say I'm a heroin head and I am none of these things.
Excuse me.
So I had to correct you.
Excuse
You
me.
can speak now.
Clearly, you're demonstrating that you are not capable of controlling yourself and your emotion. You want into a ganja mode. Right? Clearly, this is an example. What I'm saying is this: when you are, look. Hello, listen. I am saying, within hashish, medical marijuana, we know medically we can have several benefits. The question is not about this is evil. The question is about illicit drugs, and you can something because there are various kinds. You differentiate between heroin, marijuana, and others. Of course, we have to differentiate the classes of these narcotic agents. What I'm asking is this: you made a claim, HIV is cured, AIDS is cured. Look, you are really disrespecting humanity. You know how you're disrespecting humanity? You are saying, you know what, the pharmaceutical companies are not really producing this medicine, and that's why we can't treat cancer. Now, listen, look, you live really in the land of the moon made out of cheese.
No, I live in the land of Allah. Allah can cure anything.
Listen.
There's no limitations on what Allah can use nature to cure.
Listen.
Don't put limitations on Allah, brother.
My friend, listen.
I'm true with your own science.
Listen.
Because I'm true and
Listen. As I said, I work with cancer patients, right? Did you hear that?
can work with them consider you're one of the
So let me
conspirators.
finish then. Thank you.
Because you lose your job if they find a cure.
Excuse me, listen.
Come on, man. Come on.
No, this is really, now,
Fuck off.
you clearly, I can see clearly, you're coming from a gang culture. A belief system.
gang culture.
Yes. Okay. I'll tell you what. I am, look at the way you behave. Relax. I am saying, when we talk about cancer, right, we can isolate cancer cells. Listen carefully. We can isolate, take the cancer cells, put it in a petri dish, right? Then we can use your medicine from Rasta, Dr. Sibo, whatever, right? And we can see whether this medicine can cure those cells. If this medicine can cure these cancer cells, get rid of these cancers, and they normalize the cells, you have proven to the whole world you don't need pharma companies. This bogus accusation you're making, like, oh, because of pharma companies, we can't prove cancer can be cured. I am saying, listen, relax. You can do this experiment in any lab of your choice.
I showed him.
Listen,
I showed him.
Yeah, look.
Don't let me research it.
Don't save me.
Okay, no. I can clearly see how all of you.
Relax. Read it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Read this. Read that.
Listen.
Read it.
He is in.
He doesn't want to read it.
Excuse me. Wait.
So we want him to read it.
Excuse me. Listen. Hold on. Okay. Wait.
You're going to do the research. You're going to find out.
Excuse me. Hello. Listen.
Anyway, carry on.
No. Listen. Did you hear what I said? When we talk about cancer, we can isolate the cancers from the body, and you can have cancer cells. Listen and understand. Then you'll learn what I'm saying. If you have now cancers in a lab, cancer cells, right, in your petri dish, you can then have various medicines, which we're trying to find out which medicines can be the cure of this cancer, right? You can bring any medicine. You can bring your marijuana if you want.
Alkaline plant-based diet.
Listen.
An alkaline plant-based diet will reverse all illnesses
Let me finish.
and get rid of acids from your
Let me
body.
finish. What I'm saying is, right. What I'm saying is this. If you have cancers growing in cells in a petri dish, like I have done in my research, in the university that I did my research on, right? Listen, my friend, right? Your doctor can be a doctor of anything, but I'm saying is, for you to prove to the whole world is simple. What you have to do is bring those medicine or medicinal plants, whatever, because did you know, by the way, for your information, I'm a pharmacist, and I can tell you, I can tell you.
You don't want to see the proof. A pharmacist doesn't want to read the proof
come
about
on.
the curing of AIDS.
You're not trying to listen. I am saying many.
Allah will make their hearts ignorant.
Listen.
Many listening though.
Many of the medicines are derived from plants. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? You want to say? Many of the medicines are derived from plants.
All of them.
Herbs.
Most of them.
Let me finish. So I'm just telling you, you need to really think clearly. Your thinking is clouded by this Dr. Sebi, whatever that is. I am saying, if you really got a cure, you don't have to wait for this multi-billion-dollar pharma companies. Listen to my statement. Then say what you're going to do or not. I am saying you can have a lab. Look, if you really want, get supporters of your friends, with your Rastafarians, right? Your support. Wait. Chemists. Listen, you can find people of like-mindedness, like yourself.
You're doing this already.
You're not letting me finish. I'm making a point. You can find people of your own thinking, right? Yourself, him, you, and the gentleman.
No, Dr. Sebi is an African source. You can research it. I gave the phone, you didn't want to read it. Yeah? And then the second one is not African, got nothing to do with my culture. These are white doctors in America. And the documentary is called The Rave Diet, yeah, and it breaks down how these doctors are highlighting that the American pharmaceutical companies, yeah, are hiding the fact that cancer, heart disease, and these things can be reversed. Now, don't listen. Don't take my word for anything I say today. Yeah, I'm not alone.
No, if he's got the sources, we'll check them out.
Everything I'm saying, the Rave Diet and Dr. Sebi.
So it's official.
Now,
Your sources.
Anyway, you take.
What is your sources? Let me see your sources. Let me see your sources. Let me see your sources.
I showed you.
No, I want to see the sources now.
I showed you them.
No, I want to see them now. I want to see.
The phone's gone. What I'm saying is,
Take the phone. Go on, that phone. Show me the sources that I asked for. I asked you to do what? Experiments.
I'm not a doctor. I haven't seen the experiment. I've seen the people that have been cured. I've seen the people that have been cured. That's enough for me. To see someone saying they had cancer before and they no longer have cancer was enough for me. If that is not enough for you, that's alright. But as I was saying, Rastafari pointed.
I think it's nice to do. The reason why I'm going to end this conversation because when I asked and demanded evidence, all you've given me is Dr. Sebi did an experiment, this and that. Or some people.
What do you want me to do? Bring out the experiment, or take cancer out from his heart?
Listen. That's why I'm saying you need to listen. When I ask for an evidence, the type of evidence that I'm asking is very specific. That type of evidence is this: cancer cells isolated in petri dishes. So you're not harming the human being, it's just cancer. Then what you have to do is, whatever medicine this is, banana, yogurt, herbs, the Raven diet, up to you. You use this medicine, apply there on the cancerous cells, and if the cancer cells are destroyed, I will be the first one to say, excellent, we need this as a medicine. I am not against Dr. Sebi or anyone. I am saying...
I got a source. This is the Rave Diet, yeah?
You're talking about diet, and I'm talking about a medicine that can destroy the cancer cells.
I'm saying your diet is what gives you cancer.
Then you don't understand what I'm asking for.
Okay, I'm not a doctor. I don't understand that. But let me go back to Rasta.
Not him, Dr. Sebi.
Dr. Sebi's dead.
But did you kill this guy? Wait.
Yes.
My
What he
brother.
done? No,
Dr.
let me
Sebi
explain.
gave what?
What he done, yeah? He had to go to court to prove his point.
No, I don't want the court case. I want the evidence of experiment.
But the court case, he got arrested.
Wait. Listen. I don't understand what's going on.
What happened, yeah? Was
No, Gabriel, what you're talking about is the test.
Gabriel, listen. Go ahead.
Boss, listen, yeah. Basically, he was brought to court. He was brought to that figure. He said,
Gabriel.
What he said
No, I know what I know what Brother Mansur was. He talked about the test. He showed me this. I know. I heard about the test. Now the court case here. What was that again? That was they were trying to say what? That he's not allowed to show people to the court.
I am not disputing any of this. What I'm simply saying, to establish scientific, not scientific.
Oh, is it?
You can have rich people within your belief system.
Take over something. You're going to go home, innit? Oh, you're right, you know.
The compound coming from a particular diet, right? Fruits and herbs. If you were to use those herbs and apply those herbs in different concentrations, because you don't know what concentration works, right? You can do that because if you give a human being how much, you can titrate it and say how much you need for the cancer cells grown outside the body. If you can demonstrate, I'm asking for something that I would love it, the first person to say, let's mass produce this. Forget this pharma company. If you can demonstrate that this destroys cancer, then well done. But the fact of the matter is, you haven't given me anything of this nature.
The sources for you to do the research for yourself.
You know what?
You can come back next week and call me to be a liar.
No, listen,
you come back next week and
you know what? You know what? Our Prophet said, the Ajwa dates can cure everything. Now, and I said, the Prophet said, cure everything. He said, listen,
it's probably alkaline. If you just ate that, it's probably bro. His prophet was probably right. If those dates are alkaline, and without evidence,
I know many famous
if you are a rational human being, you say, look, this is a claim that you're making. We need to now find evidence to justify the claim so that this medicine can go to the whole world, the people who need it most.
So what you're saying is put it into a scientific study.
a lot of people in the West don't want to give proof and results. A lot of people in the West don't want to give
That's
up
what
the
should be
blood.
done. Because if this has really anti-cancerous qualities, then why were we waiting?
Marijuana has.
Again, look, pharmaceutical. Look, what you don't understand is this: there are pharmaceutical companies, and there are institutions like colleges and universities, which can do their own research. They are not linked with pharmaceutical companies. Many drugs have been discovered and identified in university institutions outside of pharmaceutical company influences. So we can do the same thing. If you have the resources, do this research and bring it out to the people. But until then, it's just a claim. That's the problem.
I know, but you understand what he's a pharmacist, man. It's like me. You understand? There you go, man. Good talk.